It would be the Nissan 300ZX that came with a twin-turboed, very confusing engine layout, which caused people to say, you know what, Nissan, maybe you should just stick to the basic stuff. The 350Z naturally aspirated. A bajillion years later, the 370Z came out, also naturally aspirated. So when the 2023 Nissan Z came out, twin turbocharged, 400 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque, people were stoked until they realized they couldn't buy it. And a few years ago, this came into the fray. What?
Yeah, so in 2015, BMW released the M2 as kind of a throwback to the small M cars of old. They gave it an N55 engine, which is not M, so a lot of controversy in there, but they gave it M3 suspension, M3 brakes, and it was great. Then in 2018, the M2 competition came out, which got the big boy S55 engine, M5 brakes, and updated interior and so on.
And so now you're stuck here in the same exact price bracket for some reason or another, where you have an M2 competition that you can pick up, which is probably known as one of the best driving cars you can buy, and then you have this, the brand new 2023 Nissan Z, which apparently 7 people own in the entire country, and we're here to compare which one should you actually buy. He's wrong.
Alrighty, 2 reasons why you would pick a BMW M2 competition over a Nissan, whatever that thing is. I forget, it's a Z, 400Z? I don't know. We're gonna start with number 1. The number 1 is, it's probably gonna be your only car. So to me, one of the most important things is reliability. Now, Nissan has had some issues with the engine that they shoved in that thing. BMWs do not have that problem, but reliability in these cars is overall top notch. My car, as I'm driving it here right now, has 66,000 miles on it. I've had it since it had 9 miles on it, you know, brand new. When I mean it's reliable, like I mean it. We'll see how the Z does over time, you know, but Nissan just does not have that history. Number 2, the all-in package of performance that you get in a BMW M2. So again, Nissan has made performance cars for a really long time. They make a lot of very, very impressive cars. Like, you know, obviously everybody knows about the GTR, the Skyline, the 350Zs, 370Cs, all very impressive cars for their time. BMW has never stopped making performance cars. And especially the M series of vehicles is arguably the benchmark for their class at pretty much every level. I want to be able to drive my car off the showroom floor and go play with it right away. You know, modifications should be for my enjoyment. They should be for my taste, my preference. I don't want to have to fix something wrong with the car right away. So Alex, you know, you guys hopefully are following the build on that car. When he bought it, it looked good, except it looked like it was lifted. You know, it looked like an off-road Nissan, and that's just, I'm not into that. Now, mod for mod, only time will tell. Alex is modifying that car, you know, a lot, and he's gonna keep playing with it. You know, very few of Alex's cars stay stock very long, so we'll see how it does in a couple of weeks here, but I think right from factory, it's really hard to beat an M2.
So the first thing Lars is probably gonna bring up that his car does better is that it's a better overall package. It's better than the Nissan Z. But little does Lars know that he bought the M2 competition. His car by default is an up-trimmed M2. This is just a base Z. That's just a performance trim 400 horsepower Z. So I'm not really sure that technically counts. Now, what I can say about his car that he does have going for him is that the wheelbase is fantastic and the comp trim is damn good. But the problem is the badge that's on the front of it. The badge that sits on the front of his car is the good old BMW. And what that means is that anytime he wants to mess with anything on that car, it is going to be insanely expensive. I've given people a hard time for Nissan prices being $1,000 for an intake, $1,000 for a cooler, $1,000 for this. But for the same exact thing that BMW would want to get, that's a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 part. You're paying BMW premium prices, whereas with the Nissan Z, you want to modify it. You want to know what you're spending money on? You're spending money on a part that they probably already made in the 370Z, which is going to cost pennies on the dollar in comparison to what a BMW M2 aftermarket part is going to cost. The two reasons you'd buy the Nissan Z, simple, absolutely simple. Number one, it's a Z. It's been made for 1 billion decades. It's going to be made for 1 billion more. Number two, you're getting everything you need for a really awesome time. You are getting a car built for the automotive enthusiast that not just wants to track their car, but maybe they want to drift it, maybe they want to drag race it, maybe they want to show it. This car can do it all. And let me be clear, Nissan has never not made a properly built sports car.
Manual seats? Are you shitting me? Oh no, they're just on the right side for some godforsaken reason. All right, here we go. Oh my God. It does slide so much easier than my car. What the f? That's bizarre. Okay. So, these brakes. What's happening is the car makes no power, and then suddenly all the power all at once. So you're in a corner and it's like wham, and then the brakes are like, I don't know what the hell he did to the brake, but like they're just on off. So my car is very, like, I hate to use this word, it's refined, and this one just feels like weirdly like wobbly. I don't know. It feels odd. So before he gets over here, he's running over here right now. The pros, the engine is a bomb. I love the engine. That thing is nuts. But like the suspension, the feel of like the stuff is a little odd. Like the throw is really quick, which is nice, and the car feels really lightweight, which is awesome. It feels really disconnected. Like there's no weight behind the steering, and you can't really feel the throttle or the brakes. So that part's just like, it's a little odd. He's gonna talk so much shit. Ready? Hold on.
Did you know you don't have to turn the car off and then on to start your lap? You can just go.
There's a check engine light. I was cycling it.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Is it there still?
No, I fixed it.
Oh, okay. All right. Just making sure you saw.
Yep.
This car feels so different!
What's it like to drive an adult car?
You know,
Designed in the 20th century.
Honestly, I was really impressed. The thing that I was most impressed about was how big the brakes are on this car and how, you know, terribly sloshy they feel considering how big they are. You know, that was my favorite part. All right, so after driving both cars, it's very clear to see my car's faster.
Less consistent.
Better driver mod.
Car mod. We're talking about cars. My car is more consistent.
You know, I will say the biggest difference between driving the Z to the M2 Comp, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't feeling the brakes. I know they're huge and I know they're different, but for some reason I've gotten so accustomed to the EBC RPX trackpads on this thing where when I just press it, I barely have to press it and boom, it's applied.
It is definitely a feel thing, because I also run EBC brakes. I run their blue stuff pads on the factory rotors, and there's a little more travel until they get hot. On track use, it's like that, but they have to get hot first.
Yeah, and I would say another difference for me was this car, the torque curve is still running its stock ECU and things like that right now, but it's brutal. It hits you. This is way more consistent on the power curve.
It's definitely rough. Like, you're getting into it and you're about to throttle out, and the car's like, now we're gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like that. And then the M2, like you can tell the engines have been tuned to feel like a naturally aspirated engine because it's constant torque the whole way through.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will always say. With the Z, it definitely feels like a Japanese twin-turboed, like heritage vehicle. The torque curve, the power curve, it just feels so unnecessarily almost aggressive.
It's like it's on purpose to make you like say like this is comfort and this is power, and there's just the on-off switch.
Yeah, whereas the BMW just feels a little bit more, maybe a little bit more refined, a little bit more heritage, a little bit more old, a little bit slower, because it is the slower out of the two.
I tried really hard not to say the word refined while driving it, and I was like, it's more refined.
It takes everything in somebody's power to not say refined when they mention a BMW. But if you have one of these, or if you have one of those, and if you're looking for parts, Mod Your Kart Martini works.